ambitious. Say again.
So hello guys, hello again, hello everybody, hello. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. You know, my name Tonia Youboty. I'm your Wawa Kolokwa princess. But now you guys should know, Wawa Kolokwa princess. I'm speaking my Kolokwa. Ooh, if you want my body, you will learn my Kolokwa. All right, so we got that out of the way. You know, we're speaking Pio Kolokwa. A little bit about me. I am Liberian American, so you know, I do music here. I share some behind the scene of my life. You know what I be up to in my wonderful city. I live in Minnesota. Yeah. But anyway, today I'm in a different location, as you guys can see. That's another cup of tea, but let's just leave it like that. But anyway, today I am here to talk about so I'm here today because I got selected to be a, what you call it, jury. As a jury, I was part of a jury duty selection. So I actually did go through the whole experience. So first the mail came in, they told me to respond and everything, and then I did respond, but I kind of responded at the very last minute. So yeah, so I was selected. So that's the interesting part. So they write you to tell you if you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, please respond. For me, I did not respond too early. I responded a little bit later. So anyway, I was selected to be part of a case. So in the past, when they write me, they're like, oh, you know, you should fill out the paperwork and you're gonna be part of jury selection and everything. All I did was like, nah, okay, it is what it is. Maybe I may or may not be selected, but this time maybe because I responded late, so they select me, I don't know. But anyway, I was selected. So now that I was selected, so some of my findings, some of the things that I did, that's what I want to come in talk about, because it was a new experience. Usually you just write the paper like, I can do it, I have to go to work, I can do it because I'm a mom, I have to do this, or can do this wherever it is, or I have a vacation coming up, you know what we do to kind of get out of it. But I was selected. So the very first day, you know, they send you all the mail. Once you get selected, they give you a number, tell you, hey, you should call this number to check in, to know when, where, how you're gonna be, and then if you need to come in, so you can come in and everything. So I'm like, I don't even know if they're gonna select me, but they did select me, like I said. So let's bring it down to part of the whole session. So that day, I couldn't go to work anyway because something come up. So all I did was I called the first half in the morning. My number was not selected, so I called like later on in like the midday, about like 10ish, 11ish. My number was selected, and they said that you should do your best to be here within like, okay, so if I call like 10:30ish, that means the next selection was going to start like 12:30 or 12:45. So I did my best to get there as planned. So now I am part of the jury team. So we're all in this wonderful big room when we get to the county courthouse. First of all, when you're getting down to the county courthouse, please, this is another chance again for you to get to know your city. Because for me, you know, when you live in your city, you know where to say, oh yeah, go to that courthouse, go to this one, go to this one. So finding the right location too, I had to know that. How to navigate the city, that's another thing too, you have to know, so you can know which one of the courtroom, or where, who, what, and everything. So we got in this very big room. There were a bunch of people, because it was like COVID time a little bit, so they kind of spread out the chairs so you couldn't sit too close to people. So while we were in the room, the guy came up. He had a list of people. He read the list, down, John, Paul, whatever it is, and then he called my name. And then he said, the rest of the people, you guys can leave. You have been dismissed. Oh, okay. So they left. So now we are part of the few that left, and then since we're part of the few, he gave us an orientation. He gave us like the importance of being for you to display your rights as an American to be part of jury selection. He gave us the importance of it. He read the constitutional rights. He gave us an orientation in the building, what to do, what not to do, and everything. So we got that first part down. So he's like, okay, this is the paper. You guys can read it. We watched some videos, what to do, what not to do. Okay, so we're done with that part. Then we took a little break. Then we all came back. Then now, I think they read another list again or something. I don't even remember. But then we had to go upstairs. Then when we went upstairs, that's when we saw the real judge. Like, dun, dun, dun. So we saw the judge. While we were there, we had to wait in the hallway a little bit, you know. And then we got in the courtroom. Things started getting a little bit serious. Like, uh-oh, this is a real matter that's going to be happening. So we sat there. They asked everybody. They were asked like some random question. Some people would answer. Some people wouldn't answer. If it concerns you, you answer. If you feel you have an import, you kind of answer. And then he also like select certain people. He asks them some random question, or he brings some hypothetical situation. You know, just to keep us going, to kind of like get us talking a little bit. And then then the nitty gritty thing kind of coming. And then he will give some scenario, and then he asks like, if anybody who object or you feel you've been in this situation, say something. So some people will explain that they can't do this. They has been in such and such situation. So with the answer, and then he asks them, do you feel you can be part of this case? And then they'll say yes or no. So some people, then at that point, he would dismiss some people. So we kept going. Some people did not answer all the questions because it's not like a right or wrong answer. It's just to kind of want to make sure that you are comfortable and you are kind of like taking this matter serious, and you're aware that situation and things that he's asking you that is really serious. So that was some of the reasoning why he would give out the scenario, ask these questions, and kind of like give those example of the law to see if you are participated in some of these events. Or like, have you ever like murdered someone? Have you ever been in a criminal case or something like that? And then he kind of go into details and everything. My another finding that I like about him, he really stressed that now that we have been selected as a jury, you know, like to be part of a jury, like to take this matter very serious, because it's like our decision really gonna be someone else, you know, like this is someone's life. So it doesn't matter if the person is rich, it doesn't matter if the person is poor. This is a person, this is a real matter. So if it's something we feel we're not ready to serve, we should make a decision now so we can leave. So anyway, they kept asking the question. It didn't bother me anyway. So, and then after, then when he kind of like picked point in the group of people, he would ask them certain questions. And then from there, they would answer some questions. So people would explain about their occupation, how this matter and this matter would not, would kind of like interfere in the life. So then he would dismiss some of them. So I think it started out to, well, like maybe like 30-ish, and then finally we went down to like 12. So the final 12, now we kind of like sat, like we were like sitting like we went from like sitting in like the back of the courtroom to like being a spectator to like sitting on the side of the courtroom. So I think we were like 12 or 14 of us. I don't remember, but I think about 12 or 14. So from there, we sat there. He read the laws. He read the matter. He read everything. And then from there, he finally reviewed what kind of case it was that we were going to be representing. So in this matter, it was a criminal matter. When he was done, kind of like telling what kind of case it is, he really stressed that we shouldn't watch the news or read anything about the case. And you're not supposed to like blog. You're not supposed to like vlog any matter of this case. You're not supposed to go research anything of the case, because now once you kind of know a little bit about the case, then you're being biased. And to tell you the truth, I had no idea about that case. I didn't know the person, place, thing, nothing. So it didn't even bother me for me to say, oh, you know what, let me go do more research. Because he did ask to, he asked every one of us if we ever heard about the case too, that we were going to be part of the jury selection team. And it seemed like none of us knew too. And then also he gave an example, if we live in that township, if we have, you know, if we have any associate with anything, everybody. So it seemed like, because one thing I kind of learned too about the jury selection process, it goes by your driver license. So once your name pop up on that list, you could be John Paul, you could be Mary from this town and this town. Those are you guys that kind of been selected. So to tell you the truth, I had no idea about that case. Absolutely nothing. So here we are now. We finally been selected. It was a criminal matter. So now they give us the law. Like, they read the law. He read the case. He read the law. He read everything that will kind of support us. And he was very clear. Like, do your best to make a decision, because this is, you know, like your decision, your input is going to be affecting this person's life. So we did kind of that's something that you really have to take serious when the judge kind of read, because, you know, you have to be very serious about it. So anyway, we kind of left that. Then it took us downstairs. So after we got all the material now to go and like, now that we learned about the case, he kind of told us about the case and everything. Then we left the courtroom. We went to another, like a jury selection room. Then they give us the case. Then we had to read about it. We have to read some of the facts, some of the, not like read about the whole case, but like the selection that he wanted us to kind of like make some decision on. That's where we kind of got the evidence of. So we got like, I don't want to go in details of the evidence that we got, because, you know, I feel maybe I should process a little bit and not give out. So we got the evidence. So the evidence would be like, maybe, okay, I'll give a little bit example, some pictures, some like phone calls, some, you know, some of the evidence that happened at the time of the intent or the act that kind of make it in this matter to be criminal. So he wanted, and then according to the law, how does it fit with this matter? So it was 12 of us, 12 to 14 of us. I think I think that's that much people. So we all have our say in it. You know, now that we in the jury room, we got some people who are kind of like, I know the law. This is the truth. This is not the truth. And then we got some people, I know the law. This is not the truth. This is not the truth. So you kind of get back down to everybody have some of us had different opinions. Some of us have different views. But another thing, what the lawyer, not the lawyer, the judge really point out, it's not about opinion. It's about the facts. It's about how did this matter kind of interfere with the law, so we can make that wonderful decision. That was was the main thing. So we all have our chance. We all, you know, like, I will say the team was very good. Like, all of us that was selected, we did share some good input, because some people give an example, what if not, everything. And then when it's time for us to start to make decisions, some of us volunteer, some people volunteer. So we would pick out one person who will make that guilty, not guilty saying. And then we also pick out some people who wanted to write out the facts that we all find. And also, just like we went around the room, some people volunteer who all think he guilty, who all thinks the person is not guilty. So we all kind of like have our little part in it. So I would say having those conversations really helped me, because if it was just your self-thinking, I feel like you really need to like think really hard. But if everybody start putting their different perspective together, like why this happened, or and then looking at the evidence and everything and breaking it down, it really helps. So we had about 3 days for us to make our decision. So it was like a Monday, Tuesday, and then by Wednesday we kind of came up with our decision. We did look at our evidence, like maybe we went back to the courtroom. We kind of look at our evidence again because sometimes at one point we felt like maybe it was not enough evidence. So we went back to the courtroom. We listened to some evidence again, and then we came downstairs, and then we all make our decision on that again, which was, it really helps us. So now that we all came up with a decision, we write it down and everything. So we went upstairs, we read the decision, we told the judge what we think as a collective group, being as a jury selection to have our input. So we all came up with a wonderful decision, and we told the judge and everything. So that was really helpful for me, because to be part of jury selection, like jury, it was really good. So I would say we came up with that decision, and then we just kind of like, tell the judge what we think, everything. So after we read our ruling, what do we think and everything, we did our part, and then it dismissed us, and then we had to go in another room. And then when we went to the other room, then the judge did come there, and then that was one of the things I really like. After the decision was made of if the guy was guilty, not guilty, and everything was made, and then we went to the other room, and then when they finished making their ruling for the guy and everything, the judge did come to us, and then he asked us some like Q&A question. He asked all of us some question, like do you have question, do you have concern, what is going on, and everything, some clarification. So he did kind of ask us that. I really like that. So every one of us, we have some questions, we have some answers, we kind of share. So I would say that part, what the judge did, I would say it really helps, because it kind of like alleviates some of the tension a little bit, because when you honor jury selection, sometimes we all have our beliefs, opinion, or maybe like what is going on here, but you can't say, you can't talk to your teammate too intimate about like kind of like you have to like keep your opinions away, or maybe some other like findings or other things. You just have to like stick to the facts and kind of like focus on the reasoning why you're there. So when we were done with the decision, once we made our decision, and then he kind of gave his final ruling and everything, he came to us to kind of like talk to us for a little bit. I would say that really helps all of us. So he asked us some question, we all asked some question, we all like kind of say what we think and everything. And then he was very polite. He thanked us. He encouraged us to participate in the law, that our decision was very helpful and everything. And then we all dismissed. So, and then when we were done, we did get paid for jury selection. So with the county paid us, like I think for the county that I live in, there was like about $20 a day or something like that. So we did get a small check, in the mail. So less than $100 check for the few days that we were there. Also, what else? Our job too. So like for my job, if they're gonna pay me, not pay me, that other part was kind of a little bit wishy-washy. But at the end of the day, we figured it out. I did get paid for it. But and then another thing, my finding again, if you're gonna be part of a jury selection, it really helps you with your morals, because sometimes when we hear things, we kind of feel like opinion. We kind of put our opinion, what we think, what we believe. But if you kind of really break it down, it kind of helped me. For me, I would say it helped me with my morals and my belief. So I would say that's some of the things that kind of thing. That was one of my takeaway, to really kind of help me with my morals. Like also like making decision as a group too. I kind of believe that that process really helped me too, because it kind of helped. Every one of us had a chance for us to talk about it as a group too, to make selections. So I would say, if you're going to be on a team of jewelry selection, God bless. Let them leave you with some really good people who can like logically make some good decisions. If it's just people who sit and just be like, man, I don't know, whatever, you kind of feel like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Kind of situation. So that goes back to the morals, because you have to know what are you doing. And then, like I said, after we were done, the judge kind of thanked us. We got a letter in the mail, an official letter with the counting. It kind of looked really fancy, so tell us thank you. So I think that is something that you can kind of like keep someday for yourself and be like, hey, once upon a time we're part of a jewelry selection, and look at this wonderful letter. Maybe you can show it to your kids or keep it somewhere good, because it looked really nice and fancy, just thanking us and appreciating us for participating and exercising our rights. And so I would say, I would encourage everyone, let's see, I'm kind of reading it. I would encourage everyone to participate in being part of a jewelry selection, being a juror, how you call it, a juror on the case, because it's fun. I won't lie, it was fun experience. For a minute out of your life, you're actually making decision on somebody else, or something else. So it kind of like let all that other situation away, kind of like clear your mind a little bit and focus on this one thing. And it kind of like put you in that situation of like really get you, for you to be thinking, for you to understand, for you to process. So I would say like your weighing is very important. It's your decision the decision that you made. You kind of reading the law, you kind of understanding what the judge is looking for. You kind of exercising your right too is a good thing, because it kind of make you feel like, wow, I didn't know this is what people go through. So yeah. So when they send you that mail, I want everybody, if you're my friend here, if you get that mail, if you ever feel like, I don't know if I want to be part of a jewelry selection or not, I would say go ahead, fill out that paper, and respond to them. It will be a good thing. Your weighing does matter, and you will kind of have a whole different experience on the law too. Because it's like you're first hand, you're there, you're kind of like actively participating, and then maybe too, if you kind of like understand how to make decision too when it comes to like laws based, it kind of help you too when you're in situation to kind of say, oh, okay, I understand why they do this certain way, I understand why they don't do this too. So that was some of my finding. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming to my channel. Yeah, and this was my experience being part of a jewelry selection. It was a really good experience. I get to know more about my morals and get to know more about my laws, and just exercise my right as an American too. So thank you guys so much for coming to my channel. I appreciate it. I am your Wawa Kolokwa princess. I'm speaking my Kolokwa. So come back. Thank you. Come back. Okay. Thank you. Mwah. So another thing that I realized, if you're gonna go in the city, don't forget that you would need to pay for parking, and also how far you park, time and everything for you to be there. Please consider that. Have a budget for parking for you to get your parking space. Next would be taking breaks. Sometimes we did have some long breaks, we did have some short breaks. So bring some entertainment while you're on your break, like puzzle, reading book. Maybe some people was on the internet. Maybe the internet might not be as active that day in the building, because it's a governmental building. But yeah, just bring some entertainment while you're on your break and everything. And then have a good time being part of the jewelry selection team. That's all I can say. Be a jewelry, it was good. Your weighing does matter. So it may or may not be the best experience for you, but it's an experience for you to, maybe it's a bucket list experience, and then you can just like cross it off your bucket list. But like, okay, I participated in the jury. Okay, that's it.